listen. It doesn't matter if you listen to death metal, black metal, thrash metal, fuck even power metal, as much as I don't like it. You know, but
like
it's us versus the rest of the world and those pop motherfuckers that can't play their own fucking music. You know, we're all one metal family. We're all forever underground.
Yeah, man, we're all of us a part of this thing called the underground, man.
Wertes Pack, herzlich willkommen zu einem weiteren Metal Hammer Weekly Warfare Special. Wir haben wieder ein Interview für euch parat. Ich habe mit den allmächtigen Weitere Remains gesprochen. Das Ganze ist auch auf dem diesjährigen Partisan passiert. Ein sehr, sehr witziges, sehr aufschlussreiches Gespräch. Es ging über neue Bandmitglieder, über das kommende Album, was schon sehr lange in der Mache ist. Da geht es ein bisschen mit den Labels hin und her und so weiter und so fort. Die Typen waren sehr gut drauf. Sehr sympathische Band. Live generell der Killer, aber hört mal zu, was sie selbst zu sagen haben.
Metal Hammer Weekly Warfare.
At first, guys, hello, nice to meet you.
Hello. Nice to meet you again.
What's up, brother?
Nice to see you.
Yeah, well, the last time I talked to Brian was like maybe 1.5 years ago or 2 years ago.
Tour, yeah.
On the Bevertet tour in Berlin, and you already played there one new song you played today too.
Yes.
World Without God.
In a world without God.
Yeah, and Brian told me that there is an album in the making, or is mostly written. What happened till then?
It's pretty much written, but what we've been doing in between the touring is speaking with many, like 4, 5, 6 record companies, and you know how that goes. You know, so it's a lot of talking, a lot of shit, you know, and we are, you know, I'm old school, you know, I've been doing it a long time, you know, 28 years with Vital, and I don't jump into contracts fast anymore like when I was a kid, you know. So I've been talking to a lot of labels, you know, they send me proposal, contract, I say I don't like this. They say send it back, we change it. Then another label says, hey, we can offer you this. And I look, okay, this is wrong. So it's this game of like going back and forth. But actually, since the last time you spoke with Brian, we actually have it down to two labels we are speaking to.
Okay.
And we're trying to finalize what is the best place for Vital for the new home. You know, one label's bigger than the other, but the other is offering us to be more of a priority, which I think is more important sometimes. Maybe they don't have as much money like the big companies, but they're going to treat you with respect and they're going to push you hard, and sometimes you have to take that into consideration. So we're almost at that point where, you know, I say by sometime in the fall, we'll be announcing which label. We'll be going into the studio to record the album, and we'll release it next year for sure. So it's going to happen.
So you talked about all this business stuff. You're right, nearly 30 years in this game. What do you think changed the most in the last 20, 25, 30 years?
People stealing shit.
Well, there's the big thing with the internet where, you know, everybody was angry at Lars Ulrich back in the day, and I remember that, going, wow, what they're stealing their music? And I'm computer illiterate. I'm not savvy with computers. He is, you know. I'm old school. We didn't have computers. We used to, you know, our singer and everybody, we used to correspond by writing.
He still has a tape player in his truck.
I still.
That's not a joke either. That he really does.
It's okay, but I prefer it. You know, it's okay. I grew up the old school way where, you know, you didn't have the internet. So that's changed, and once it's like a double-edged sword. You know, in one way it's good for the newer bands. They can get their exposure fast, but then you have the other side where then people can steal your music and have somewhat of a entitlement to think that they could take your music. They don't realize, man, sometimes it takes a year to write, you know, of your life to write, pour everything into the music, and just to steal it, man, it's like basically to me like going inside your house, you're watching a football game and you're getting into your team's winning, and then I just take the TV and I walk out and go, I need the TV. And I, do you know what I mean? So in that sense, things have changed with technology, but what I see and what I'm liking, you know, the scene is different, you know, in some cases it's bigger, you know, it's nice to see these big open air festivals, and, you know, in the old days, you didn't see this, maybe there was one festival, Milwaukee Metal Fest in the US, that was the only festival you could play.
Dynamo back in the day over here.
Yeah, Dynamo over here, but still, it's great to play and see so many people, new generation of people. You know what I mean? Like every year, this is what I'm so proud to be fucking underground is that when they were laughing at our music, and I can remember in the late 80s, early 90s, people going, oh, your music will go away. Our music will never go away. And we give the finger to all the commercial band music and all that shit that was like forced on us, and we're like, no, we're not. We will. This music and the underground will never fucking die, man. And I'm proud that we to our guns, our swords, whatever, and we kept the music going. And now you see, where's the music dying? Why is all the U.S. bands want to come to Europe to play? Because it's alive and kicking in Europe, and we're proud. I'm very proud of this. Very proud.
You talked about the new generation now.
Yeah.
You have some, I think you have some guys in your band from the new generation.
Exactly.
You know,
And
guitar
I
player,
feed
the
on
drummer,
them. Yeah.
and
Hasn't been proven they're guys yet. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, the young generation, and I always try to tell them, this is how it was in the old school. You're lucky now. You're like traveling nice, playing big festivals, getting treated really well. But I paved the way, working my ass off, you know, in the underground.
Nice. I treat them like shit.
Yeah, he treats them terrible, which is okay.
You know,
Why?
Because they're new.
guys.
They're new and
They
they're
have to
young,
be-
and
we
you
have
know,
to do this.
dude, I got my ass kicked when I was 22 on tour. It was fuck you, go back to work, load that gear, get this done. Nobody had any mercy on me.
We tried
so
to teach
I
them the
fucking,
right way, so their ego doesn't become like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
rock star.
there's no rock star.
No
bull-
rock
This
star.
is death metal. There is no
We don't
fucking room
tell-
for
we don't-
ego.
we don't-
Dean joined the band when he was like what, like 18, fresh
Yeah,
out of high school,
17, 18.
touring with Venom.
He had just
They're
finished
like-
high
like-
school and was touring with Venom. I go,
Like,
I
you
seen
already
Venom in
worked for it.
'86. I was the young guy waiting fucking for hours for them to come to say hello. Hey, Venom rules.
And he's just out here taking pictures
he's
and
like,
signing
oh, yeah.
autographs. So you know you gotta
gotta
bring him
earn
back
it.
down a
You
little
gotta
bit. You
earn
know
it.
what I mean?
And we want to make sure that he knows that it's not a free ride. You have to pay your dues.
And sometimes we make him
Yeah.
do shit just to make him do it. Like, hey, go get the drums off stage. Well, they're off stage. Well, then go move them over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just tried to.
Okay. Now go move them over there.
You know.
Well, why? Because I said so.
Yeah, we're just kidding, but we just try to always instill in him
Humble.
to be humble and to be
humble.
grateful to be part of this band, because there's a lot of work and dedication has been going into to keep the bit, to keep it alive. So I have to have the respect like this.
And
you
it's
know?
not like us and the fans. It's all of us together. That's why I fucking come off stage and I go walk out and I say, you know, I remember
we don't hide in
getting.
the backstage like some bands.
I
Like,
remember
oh, we're
being
so cool. We're not like this kind of band.
I remember being
We're with the
23 and,
people.
and hearing Dechristianize, and I
We're
was
the
that
underground.
kid, that 23-year-old kid at home singing Dechristianize, and waiting for Vital to come and hoping I got a chance to, you know, grab them like, hey, sing that part a little bit, you know. So that's why I always like to go into the crowd. And, you know, I see somebody knows the words, I'll stick the mic in their face, let everybody have a good time. We all love these songs. We all love this music.
Yeah, a
you
lot
know?
of people came up to me, man.
And, you know,
They're so happy to hear Dechristianize, you know. It's like they remember, or for Underground, they were like giving a shit, like, why you didn't play Forever Underground? We're like, we only have 45 minutes.
That was next on the list too, actually.
We actually, the whole band knows how to play Forever Underground. We play it on our set, but we don't have time in the festivals.
Would have been that or Descent into Hell.
Yeah,
you know,
something.
so Forever would have been the
We
next
just don't
song
have
we
time.
played.
But the whole band plays normally in our live set. When we do our live headlining set, we play Forever Underground.
I make
So-
a nice little speech before I say, you know, listen, it doesn't matter if you listen to death metal, black metal, thrash metal, even power metal, as much as I don't like it, you know,
I
but
like
it's
power
us
metal.
it's us versus the rest of the world and those pop motherfuckers that can't play their own fucking music. You know, we're all one metal family. We're all Forever Underground.
Yeah, man. We're all of us a part of this thing called the underground, man. And some people think, oh, well, sometimes it's too big of a festival. But it doesn't matter about the size of the festival. It's the people inside that matter. Do you know what I mean? And when you see the old schoolers standing there with their old ladies or their friends, their brothers, you know, they're sitting
even if you're
the
playing a
patches
small
and they're
club.
looking at grayer and older like me. And I look and I go, I remember you and you and you, you know.
And
It's
even
what
if
it's
you're
all
playing-
about for me, man.
And even
It's
if
what
you're
it's all
playing a
about.
small club, it's not about the quantity of people, it's about the quality of fucking
Right,
people that are there.
Exactly. We always tell our guys to play like it's your last fucking show, man.
yeah, you just said
No, it might be.
It might be.
you just said you're into power metal. You're not. Are you in general?
And this coming from a guy who's got King Diamond tattooed on his arm, because King's not power metal to me. That's straight thrash metal. You know.
Okay.
I mean, of course I love
Yeah, you
Maiden.
love Maiden.
Of course I love
Come on.
Evergrey. I love Ice and Earth. But again, that's not power metal. Like, you know, the really just horrendous stuff that you just hear and you're like, I'd rather go listen to like
love Maiden,
Power
and I grew up
Slave.
with
I'd rather
Maiden.
go listen to Seventh Son of a Seventh Son.
I mean,
I
grew up with the
don't
Maiden
want to
stuff.
listen to Keeper of the Seven Keys.
Yeah, okay.
I know that's blasphemy to say I don't like Halloween in Germany.
But what's real power metal to you? What are you into?
I mean, for me, I mean, I like a lot of different music. You know what I mean? Obviously, I grew up old school. I still listen to old German thrash. You know, I still love my Destructions and Creators and stuff like that. I love Merciful Fate. I'm a big Merciful Fate. I seen Merciful Fate. I seen Don't Break the Oath. I seen them when I was a kid, 1984.
I was 4.
And yeah, and I was like, King Diamond, you know, and he was like, oh, okay, take it easy. You know, and Michael Denner actually came out and have a beer with me when I was a little young guy. I was just telling him the story when we were at his shop a couple years ago. So yeah, I like Merciful Fate, you know, King Diamond. I love my thrash stuff, like American thrash, Slayer, you know, Exodus. You know, I like old school. I like Possessed, Dark Angel. I mean, I love all
Seven Churches on vinyl or fuck
off. It's
off.
a variety. It's even power metal stuff I listen to. You know what I mean? It's just it just depends on what I want to listen to.
Is there anything outside of heavy metal you're into?
Yeah, of course I like
black
classic.
metal.
I like he likes black. Yeah, I mean classic rock stuff. I like old classic rock. And you know, when I get back from this tour, I'm going to see Deep Purple playing it. And the day I come home, I fly to the airport, I go to my house, and then I go to the concert to see Deep Purple.
Like Deep Purple influence?
Yeah, very much. Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin influenced me because when I was younger, I was more closed-minded when I first started with the band with Vital. I only listened to the heavy stuff, Venom and everything, you know. But as you get older, I started going back and listening to the classic stuff, you know. And for me, it helps me be more creative with music and opens up my mind a little more to be more dynamic. Do you know what I mean? So I've gone back and, believe it or not, some Deep Purple's been influenced on the last album. I'm on Icons. Some Led Zeppelin. If I showed you the riffs, you'd probably go, ah.
Which riff do you mean?
Right off the bat, an Icons.
Perfect Strangers on Scorn. What
What about Icons? You know, so yeah.
Perfect Strangers.
That's all purple, man. Purple. So that's, you have to be, I think, it's good to be open-minded more. Not listening to the same music genre that you play, because I think if you do, you will repeat what is being done, and you will not stay fresh. You know, you'll just be kind of like stale in the same rehashing the same music.
Then you got the other riff. It's like the cat commercial from Meow Mix. I like chicken. I like tuna. Meow Mix. Meow
Cat
Mix.
commercial. No, I could say there's no cat commercial music in
So you have influences from Deep Purple, from Deep Purple to cat commercials. So what can we expect from the upcoming?
I'm a dog guy.
Yeah, Rottweilers, right?
Yeah. I train them to eat cats.
So with cat commercials, you train them to eat cats.
Yes, exactly. They need to see the prey. No, I'm just joking. I love all animals. I would never hurt anything. So.
Yeah, that's cool. So with all your influences, no matter what influences they are, what can we expect from the upcoming album?
Vital album for Vital fans.
Yeah, Vital. More
Nothing's
brutality, more melodic stuff mixed in there.
He's the guy that wrote all the
epic,
songs
some
in the first
epic
place.
riffs in there like we do. Some shredding solos, always some shredding solos and harmonies and melodies. So it's just, again, it's more of what people are used to hearing from Vital. You know what I mean? But keeping it like true to how we do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not the most super technical band. Like, there's a lot of metalcore and deathcore bands. They're very shredding, a lot of notes going on, but I don't feel sometimes the music, and I want to feel the riff, because again, I'm old school. So for me, I write how I write, and I hope that the fans appreciate and they like what we do. But it's definitely really heavy stuff.
And from a fan's perspective, like myself, like I'm a Vital fan, always have been, and everybody always asks about what's it going to be like with the new members. This is the man that wrote all of Vital's music. He's credited with writing all of it. And so it's the core fundamental principles of it is exactly what Vital's always been. Yeah. Why? Because as long as you got this man writing the songs and writing the melodies, it's going to be the same. Yeah.
And I think with the new blood, with the new guys in the band, it's also bringing a kind of a
making you step your game up.
Yeah, it's making me step my game up, but it's also refreshing because it's bringing that new blood and that new element in that kind of kicks you in the ass a little bit sometimes and kind of makes you think a little bit like, oh, okay, this guy, oh, okay.
He's getting a little old these days.
Yeah.
We gotta like boot him in the ass once in a while, motivate him. Like speaking of which.
Oh no, I mean, it's just like I think I kick him in the ass, the new guy sometimes.
No, yeah, he does. He does.
Sometimes.
No, Tony absolutely does.
I'm still up there thrashing my ass off it, and I'm almost 50 years old, man. So I mean.
Well, Tony holds the bar at a certain level, and if you perform below that level, he, like a drill instructor, he lets you know it. But it's also because I wasn't allowed to make those mistakes. He would stay on my ass, and it only made me a better singer. Yeah. It only helped me push myself to be the best that I could be. That's why I did it.
I did it so when I get on you to try to do better is because I don't think the fans deserve anything less. I think a band should give 110%, the best they can, blood, sweat, and tears. Like, don't go up there and just kind of hash through, give it everything you got. Sometimes the sound is not good. Sometimes it's out of your control. You don't have a sound guy like us. We didn't have no sound guy. And sometimes there's technical problems on stage and there's no control. But if you are playing from here with everything you have in your fucking body, I think the fans and the people will see and go, man, the sound was shit, but you motherfuckers were animals. We love it. And that's what I tell the guys. Play like it's your last fucking show, man.
He even gets a little too comfortable now. At first when I joined the band, it was like, hey, let's go play. Now it's like, once in a while, I'll be like, so Brian, what happened? You didn't feel like jumping off the balcony tonight and breaking your neck? Like what happened? There was a perfectly good balcony. You could have done a double tuck backflip off there.
Is it a must? Is it a must for you to jump into the crowd?
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, and they love it.
It's that old school.
It's that old school.
It's old
and
school.
I think more bands should do that. More singers should do that.
Fucking security up there. We would tell the fans to come fucking do it themselves.
Exactly.
I
think you can still bring the old school, smaller underground vibe to the bigger shows. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And maybe less restriction and have the fans go, man, this guy's jumping in the crowd. This guy wants us to do this and slam and mosh and jump off the stage. Man, this is like in the old days.
Everybody always wanted to
when
jump
we
off
grew up
the stage.
going to shows, you did not stand there like this. Because somebody would punch you in the face or something or kick you in the ass. Go, come on, man.
Well, do you remember that
insulting?
time you went to a show and you stood there with your arms crossed all night and then walked away saying, I had a really fun time? Yeah. No, you sat there like this, like a dumb fuck all night long, It
also comes from, again, I think, too, old school of, love for hardcore music as well.
Yeah.
I grew up in the old school.
Integrity.
I seen Agnostic Front on, back in '87. And Victim in Pain, I seen the Cro-Mags in '87. All these hardcore in my area. They were going nuts in it. In this, I remember when this attitude came to the metal guys, and they were like, "Man, you go to the shows, it's more aggressive." And then next thing you know, I started seeing people slamming, and it developed from there. And now you go to shows, and everyone's going crazy. So it's cool.
So at last question, mean question. Will be the upcoming album the next Dechristianize?
What do you mean?
The name?
No, not the name, but will it will be musically like Dechristianize? And
I don't think so.
He says no. I think it's Dechristianize Part 2.
I don't think so.
But I think every fan is going to have to listen to it and decide for themselves.
Right.
Because he doesn't think so. I totally think it is. I think it's a complete continuation. But that's my opinion. That's what I hear. That's what I get from it.
I'm definitely not trying to repeat. Yeah. But I'm also not trying to reinvent. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to change my style and stop playing with 8-string guitar, John. It's not gonna happen. I'm gonna pick up my 6-string and I'm gonna play old school fucking death metal.
We're gonna call it
till the day I don't play and I'm dead on stage or somewhere. So that's the way I look at it. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, fucking Metal Hammer. Metal Hammer fucking rules.
Thank you, Potty Sand, and everyone here for a great fucking time, man. We had a blast. And we'll hope to see you with a new album next time.
Thank you, Metal Hammer, for covering fucking the passing of Frank Watkins as much as you guys did, man. That meant a lot to me.
That was really cool.
And it meant a lot to his family, and his boys actually have the issue hanging up at home on their walls.
Thanks for the support always, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Also das Weitere Remains Album kommt, ist nur noch eine Frage der Zeit. Wir sehen uns nächste Woche wieder. Bis dahin durchziehen und nicht vergessen, Heavy Metal obsiegt.